Do like a little introduction as I prep myself and I make sure I have everything I need, but we're running a little bit late tonight, but that's fine. So we're going to do like a half session tonight, basically just introducing the characters, introducing the world, and yeah, one thing we discussed why everybody was in town, but we didn't discuss like how the party is going to start off. So that is going to be a very fun moment of improv.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know, right? Most of the time I like having like a hook of like why you guys are already together. But I don't know, maybe we can discover that in the start here.
Oh, I think I know how this might go. Just all kill each other.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
You have designated accents for like different parts of the world. So I have no idea my voice for this guy.
No.
Alright.
Brandon hasn't changed a voice for a character ever.
I have. I just am not good at them. Thank you very much.
It's okay. I'm also not good at them, so...
Me too.
So...
I mean, I could try, but like...
Effort's all that counts.
So the southern region of the Low Lakes, like that area between Beechwood Retreat and the forest, that's kind of like I've been doing Jamaican accents for those characters as inspired by Shelby, and then that whole coastal region kind of gets like a Jamaican Caribbean accent or Caribbean.
I think that'll just turn out horribly if I try to do that, so I'll come up with something.
The central...
That'll be super racist.
Yeah.
The
come on, Mod. It's not that bad.
The central desert of Heimsdale and the forests of Jan Baharan, they have like a what's the best way to put it? Like a it's a very weird accent. It's kind of like a Spanish-German accent of kind of like that. Yeah, I know.
Are they German?
Well, yes, they're giants. So it's like that hearty accent of just like, oh, hello there. But you know, they have that inflection.
So Reinhardt.
Yeah, well, yes, but it has like that inflection of like Central America, of just like, oh, hello there. So it's that's what I've been doing for that region, and there's only like 2 characters from there that have been doing anything. A Lil Nagai.
Oh, so it's like Cuban accent.
Yeah, but I'm not familiar with Cuba enough to say yes to that.
Hey, Mo! How you doing?
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like World of Warcraft.
Picture Scarface.
Like, you know the troll race in World of Warcraft? I'm imagining that.
Yeah. If you would like to set any accents for any regions in the world, you are more than welcome to. And I will definitely embrace them to the best of my ability. Sometimes so many NPCs get introduced, and random NPCs get introduced that they don't get accents, or I don't do, you know, character voices for them just because it's like, oh, you're only here for a tiny moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then we make them the most important person in the camp.
Yes, that's happened on more than one occasion.
The main boss of some of the groups right now was supposed to be a side boss that was taken care of like 20 levels ago.
It's like, this was supposed to be a
Draylin is nobody's main boss, thank you very much. He is a friend to all the people who nobody's ever gonna kill because they love him so much.
Celebrus will kill
everything I
do
do for the kingdom.
Yes, Anderson is the true final boss.
A Lil Nagai has a very proper tongue, and very eloquent tongue. So there are things in the world. So a Lil Nagian greeting, and I have a special pronunciation guide for this, is God, why did I bring this up? Because I don't ever prep it unless I have to roleplay like in a Lil Nagai. but it's Ilyaria. Yeah, Ilyaria. That's it. Ilyaria. And it looks like Ilyar area. And, you know, like other people trying to pronounce it, the pronunciations in weird places, so it's looks like that right there. And the
Brandon, it's nothing compared to some of the words you've come up with.
Yeah. And that's the pronunciation breakdown of it, rather than like how it would normally look of like.
Are we live right now?
Yes, we are. We're just chatting.
Let me grab something to show you how insane a DM can be with naming. The other
Brandon will have you be.
Don't have one.
No, he will not. Watson.
Brandon, grab Raheem's name.
He's in the chat for everybody to see, but I can show him to you guys. Both Raheem and Karen.
I thought you deleted those because you delete after every session.
No, I clear the chat log. I don't clear the NPCs. They're permanently forever in the journal.
Oh, that's right. Where the hell is he gonna be filmed?
Here it is.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
That's a character's name.
Hey, I can say Raheeman's perfectly. He is Raheeman Radithir Hillen Anthilar Lauren Dixel. It takes me just like a second to remember it.
Wow, okay.
Then the other one is this lady right here. This one takes me a little bit more pronunciation. Karanasuenathelin Wayandara Ori? I don't know, I butchered that one. But, and the reason this always comes up when people are talking about names, the reason why their names are named that, is because, there are 4 royal families, like ancient royal families, that were very prestigious to be a part. So even if you were like the primary person who was marrying like a lower ranked person who was related to that family, you would want to take their last name. So if you were a smith marrying into the Roddy family, you would, like, you wouldn't want your spouse to become a smith. You'd want to become a Roddy Smith. So, you can, like, link that heritage of, like, I'm only one link away from the royal family. And so then if a Roddy Smith married somebody, they wouldn't want to become a John or a Jones. They would want to become a Roddy Smith Jones. And then so the name then became Roddy Smith Jones. And then every time that family just got bigger and bigger and bigger and, like, married off, it's very prestigious to trace your heritage to the royal family. So the first, few letters of the name is like the royal family, the Roddys and the Asuns. And then, everything else is like additions of like, oh, I'm from the Dixel clan. So the Dixel gets added onto the Radithir and Hill and Anthilar Lauren. And
anyway, so are we starting the game or?
Yeah. We're just we're pre-chatting.
I told you, Nick.
We've been pre-chatting for a while.
I told you, Nick. They got nothing on Brandon.
Look what I just put in the Roll20 chat.
To Zara Chitno?
Tratnitl.
Tratnitl.
That is one of the races. We have that. We have Shazartharax. He's from Singapore, so it gets insane. But anyway, yeah.
All right. So, welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group F, the new Group F, Episode 1, Sand and Shadows. This is going to be a very fun tale, going through the Darkened Vale in the world. So for everybody watching the channel, we are in the Nation of the Undead over in Galkin. So before we go any further, I would like to start off by saying, since this is the first episode, we're going to do a introduction of everybody around the table. But before we do that... Yeah, I know, right?
Our hypothetical table.
Yeah. Before we do that, D&D, it is a role-playing game. It is a fantastic game that we love very, very much. Everything you're going to see tonight is not written, not scripted. Anything can happen, and I actually have no idea what's going to happen. We're running a little bit late, so everybody, thank you for bearing with us. We're going to do a half episode tonight, and then basically the introduction to the campaign and characters and this region. So, what I am going to do is I'm going to call out people from the order you join this group to the newest person, and we'll go in that direction. And I would like you to give just your name or, you know, what you want to be addressed as a player, and then give your character's name and a 2-sentence description about them of like, they're a blank and, you know, they're looking for blank, or they want to do this, or they're like So, quit dying on me, Anthony.
No.
Shelby, start us off tonight, okay? As the one of the original members of Group F.
Okay, yeah, my name is Shelby Williams. I am playing Mud, M-U-D. He is a Warforged, and there is a long history of Warforged. If you paid attention to last Group F, that we had a Warforged in that group. And Mud is the opposite side of the coin. He is a Terrai Warforged, and he is part of the Agram Guard.
All right. Next up, we have Anthony. Go ahead and tell us about you and your character.
Okay, if y'all don't know me by now, there's an issue. I am everywhere. Name's Anthony. Today I will be revealing to you Madara Renali. She is a samurai fighter, shifter.
Okay, next we have Jackal. We have Jackal up there.
Jackal. It's a jackal. Is it a jackal? Jackal.
Jackal. No, anyway, I'm Jackal, and I was also in the last campaign. I was the other Warforged. For this campaign, I am a Tiefling Ranger, specifically a Monster Slayer. He is very familiar with desert regions, as where he was trained by a monster slaying society that shall not be named yet.
Oh, we named it, just neither one of us can pronounce it.
Shh, don't tell them. No. And this character doesn't actually go by an official name. He goes by a title given to him by that association. So his full title is The Good Hunter. However, The Hunter or just Hunter will suffice.
Okay, next we have Nick.
I am Nick. I will be playing Zevin. He is a Shattered or Tiefling bard, and he is he's made it his mission to join the Queen's Court, Queen Elizabeth's court.
All right, and then we have Lindsay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lindsay. And I'm playing as a tiefling life domain cleric named Ginhill. And she is currently on a self-imposed exile.
All right.
And that's what I've got.
And then we have Bojo, finally. And go ahead and take it away. I just saw your mic on mute.
Hi, I'm Bojo. I'm playing a human evocation wizard who is out in search of discovering the ancestry of his wizard roots.
All right, and if you have been watching this channel for any sort of time, you would know I am Brandon. I am controlling Candelabra the Feared. Yep, that's no, I'm kidding.
Good old Candelabra.
Thank you, Jackal, for picking that up. But anyways, no, I'm the Dungeon Master, so I'll be running tonight's tale. Alright, so I'm going to read our adventure hook, and then we're just going to jump into it from there. This is exciting. These are always, like, my favorite things, like, about starting off the campaigns is, like, just going over these. Okay, so, yes, the story is taking place in the Darkened Vale, and I will put this time right here. Let's start on a D6 of the month. 3. It is the 3rd of Hunter. That's the day we're starting on.
Yes, it is the 3rd of me.
Yes, that's great. Okay.
I just want to say the fact, Jackal, you actually did a very common naming convention for Shatterers on this world, and I love it.
Alright, so, the Dead Walk Again. Created by a powerful necromancer who sought to consume the souls of gods, the undead people that have come to be known as Terrai have had a troubled past. After being used as minions of destruction, slaves forced to build colonies, and discardable tools for revenge, the Terrai struggle to find their place in Ilderon. Many of the undead people have chose to rage against the living that scorn the Terrai's existence. Many more, however, chose to abandon the destructive forces that spawned them. The group of Terrai that chose a different path are known as Darkin. They've followed the vampire known as Elizabeth the Redeemed to an isolated corner of Ilderon and formed a haven for Terrai, known as the Darkened Vale. The Darkin have been ravaged, besieged, and hunted across the sands of the Duraeus Desert until finally they found a home on the eastern shores of Galkan. The Darkened Vale defends the borders of their nation with a protective ferocity. While the Darkin could run from their destructive past. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a typo of me. While the Darkin ran from their destructive past, it was only a matter of time before the past found them. The Shatterer, Olivia the Lost, has returned to the land of the living. The Shatterer is the sister of Elizabeth the Redeemed and is responsible for using hordes of Terrai to destroy empires and nations. Long thought to be destroyed by the ascended god Valrier, no one is certain how or why Olivia walks the lands of Ilderon again. However, with her return, the voices of dissent have began to whisper within the Darkened Vale. Fanatical cults are forming, prominent political figures are disappearing. Some within the nation believe that with Olivia's return, the Darkin should join their more destructive brethren in the Archblight. No one would dare speak such a heretical thing in the light of day, but the light seldom shines in the Darkened Vale. Determined to quell the building dissidents, the Relistrate of Fort Dalewatch has put out a call promising to reward anyone who steps forward with information on this new cult of Olivia, or anyone willing to step into the shadows to confront them. Those who aid the Relistrates of the Darkened Vale can curry favor with the Empress's court, and the undying monarch of the Darkened Vale herself, Elizabeth the Redeemed. Our story begins in the border town of Dalewatch. Alright, so let's head over there and okay, so
Arabian Night.
Dalewatch.
Damn it, you got that in my head now. That is not leaving me tonight. I'm going to be singing that at work.
You're welcome.
Dalewatch. It is a fortress on the well, actually, before we go here, I'll explain this a little bit more to you. Dalewatch, it is a fortress on the far western border of Darkened Vale. In the distance at night, you can see the horizon lit up like almost like a whole night sky, except just on the horizon of just like this white light glowing. It overlooks Fort Dalewatch. is in striking distance of a massive divine font of energy burning in the desert called a Earthfire. That Earthfire is the thing that Heimsdale and the Darken Vale are constantly fighting over. And this fortress is kind of like a forward base for the Darken Vale to just have a place to station troops when needed, or any forward defense against like Heimsdale invading. Fort Dalewatch is very important to the security of Darken Vale. If it falls, then, you know, Heimsdale could take the Earthfire and push all the way into the heart of the Darken Vale. And it kind of also is like the reconnaissance, or the information nexus for all of the Agrimgard moving around the region. So, moving from there to here, Fort Dalewatch is also important because being on the border of the Darken Vale, it's one of the nicer places of the desert that isn't on that desecrated land of the Darken Vale. The sun still shines here occasionally, and travelers will, people who want to trade in the Darken Vale will come to Fort Dalewatch, or people seeking passage through the northern deserts will also come here and look for like mercenaries or guides to lead them through the desert. That said, we are going to pick up in the... We're going to pick up in the evening. We're going to pick up in the evening of... on the evening of the 3rd of Hunter. And as and what's going to be kind of happening as everybody is... or rather, on this evening, everybody's going to be gathered around the marketplace, as they wouldn't have bells here. They would have criers actually like running through the streets, and even like even some spirit remnants just kind of like drifting person to person, and just kind of like informing people. And this is a the whole town is being gathered, and the way that this is happening, you know, the criers are running through the streets telling everybody to gather outside the main marketplace that's going to be underneath Fort Dalewatch itself, because there is a town around Fort Dalewatch. You don't need a killing field in this region, because the whole desert is your killing field. So anyways, there is going to be like a town around Fort Dalewatch, and in the main market row of this town, people are going to be gathered for the Relistrate speaking. And the Relistrate is going to have a scroll, and his name is, well, you know what? Actually, I'm going to roll him up randomly.
His name is undecided. 1 second.
Well, no. I have a character that I was going to make in charge of this village, but there's something else I want to do with that character instead. So, you guys just got a new Relistrate.
Whoa!
All right.
This is what we call improv.
Improv. We're not good at it.
This is every night. So I don't.
As I said,
don't know what you're
we're not
talking
good
about.
at it.
Anybody who is like watching the stream is gonna see that I just grabbed my Group B card, because boy, is that going to be wonderful. Okay. So,
How many syllables does this name have?
Relistrate Cachero. That is all the syllables they have. And we'll evens odds it. This person who is decreeing to you is going to be in a black and gold cloak of the Empress's court, and of course have a mask of her court members, not on his face, but just kind of as a necklace, strung around as a large, has a mask like strung around his neck as like a large Flavor Flav necklace would be the best description of it. And he's going to be addressing the crowd of these citizens as everybody is like gathered around. And everybody in the party is going to be here kind of bumping shoulders with all of these people listening to the Relustrate. And he's going to speak up and say, Darkin of the Darken Vale, visitors of the Ruby Alliance, merchants and mercenaries alike, as issued, I hate myself when I do this. I have to, this character has the longest title in the game, and I have to pull up her title every time. As issued by the Sight of the Third Eye, Guardian of Agram's Gambit, Delorifia of the New World, the Undying Empress, the Redeemed herself, Elizabeth, in whom we trust our sight, has decreed, after doing battle and confirming it with her own eyes, that she has seen Olivia, the Lost One, walking these lands again. Yes, I can confirm these are no longer rumors whispered amongst the alleyways of our fortress, or passed from traveling merchants. Guided by the Miendeth Yemenian on the 32nd of Priestess, the Shatterer was encountered in Wynwood. The town itself has fallen. With that said, there are voices rising in our town. Voices that I must quell. Those who wish to join the Shatterer. As it is very apparent, my advisor is no longer with us. Disappeared into the night by assassins or successionists. I know not. However, there is a reward being offered for anyone who can provide information on his return. 450 ruby pieces to any individual who can confirm his location or guarantee his safe return. With that, the group known as the Olivenrai, that has been forming in worship of the Shatterer Olivia, has been outlawed. Anybody known to associate with this group will be put... Well, you can't put their head to a stake. And it's going to say, will be exiled from the Vale and forced to suffer through the hunger. If you know of any individuals conversing with this group, you are advised to come seek me in Fort Dalewatch. With that, be on your guard. There are dark forces about here. May the Sight of the Third Eye watch over each of us. And he's... Oh, go ahead.
Is he standing on like a little podium or a stage or something?
Yeah. He's outside the main marketplace. So there would be like a whole row of bazaars here, and he would have. Actually, here we go. I'm gonna set. I'm gonna roll you a die on this one. So above. Well, no, he's not standing on a stage. So, actually, so the Darken Vale, one of the big things here is they raise monstrous livestock, and they have these gigantic, magically empowered creatures that are terrible and vicious that you really can't raise anywhere else in the world except for the blighted lands of the Darken Vale. You know, these creatures are affected by the magic. So he's not standing on a stage. As everybody from the bazaar is being gathered and, you know, these criers are running through, he's got a group of Agram Guard with him. And these Agram Guards are each mounted on these monstrosity dire wolves. And they, each one of these wolves is hulking well above 10 feet, hunched over. you know, some of them getting up to like 12 feet. So he is like elevated above you guys, just kind of like talking down on the back of this huge beast. However, it is trained and it is not mauling anyone to death.
Yet.
Please, I can take it down.
Alright. Well, Zevin will say, "What?" He's talking to the crowd in general. "Did you hear that? Elizabeth, the redeemed, sight of the third eye, guardian of Agrim's Gan, de Flora, Delorifer.
Alright, save some air for the rest of
the
us.
New world, the redeemed wants our help. Well, who wants? I'm certainly down. Is there anyone else who wants to join me in such a great gambit to assist such a wonderful woman?" He's just looking around the crowd, excited, and trying to scope out if there's anyone who looks like they might.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a persuasion check along with that.
Alright. 18.
18. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'd say that Ginhill is kind of like avoiding eye contact, but kind of looks interested. But also doesn't know if she trusts this random stranger.
Yeah, no, my instinct says this guy's gonna be a liability.
Well, it's funny that you should say that, because like as you guys are like, "Ooh, can I trust him?" Everybody else is kind of like looking around at just like this guy. Look, wait, and the person next to, you know, like these people as they're looking around is gonna raise their hand. And as one person raises their hand, another person's gonna raise their hand. Then another person's gonna raise their hand, and then there's gonna be like, you're gonna get let's see, we'll roll this. You're gonna get about 11 volunteers, and you know this crowd, and in this crowd, and they're kind of like the Relistrate is riding through town and gathering any audience he can. It's like giving this speech over and over again in different places. And in this crowd, there's, you know, about 40 people here, including the party, and a good fourth of them are all gonna like raise their hand to volunteer, and then, you know, they're gonna start shouting, and it's just like, "The Empress would die for us. We should die for her."
Yeah, that sounds good.
You're already dead.
Okay.
It comes in concepts, you know? Sacrifice what you have for the Empress because she would do that. Why, I think now is a great time for a poem of the Empress. And
I'm walking away.
you know what?
I'm done with this.
I'm starting a cult here, guys.
You don't need to start a cult. There's already a cult.
I'm starting a cult within the cult.
Ginhill's getting nervous with the commotion. She doesn't like it.
So, I mean, I guess to describe physically what I look like, I have lavender skin, my horns are somewhat rammed, and I'm in desert garb, basically. If you do actually think Arabian Nights, you know how they look with, like, bandages and all that crap. I've got that.
Keep in mind, we cosmetically changed the tieflings in this world to Shattered. Everything's the same mechanically for them, but their demonic form only comes out when they're exposed to magic. And it comes out for a d4 of hours. So I'm gonna roll that die for you. And you got 1 hour on that die. So you can assume you were exposed to some pretty high level magic just before getting here. Like, it's the evening, so you know you were probably on some sort of hunt. You know,
I was on a hunt, something probably magical.
Yeah, got exposed.
I was not aware that that was a thing. So
yeah, well, no, that's what I'm saying. So you got exposed, and you're in your tiefling form right now. Like, this magic's reacted with your cursed blood, and you know you're in full demonic form.
Okay,
but I'm not a filthy undead.
Yeah, it's because she sees that this guy's a tiefling, and since she's a tiefling, she's like, well, maybe I can. I don't know.
Just like,
she's very on the fence.
Well, like, I see this guy's undead, and it's like, clearly he's lost his mind.
I'm not undead.
Oh, I thought you were. You said you were shattered, weren't you?
Yeah, shatters are tieflings.
You're a shattered too.
Mud is going to.
I could have sworn the Shattered. You said I was under the understanding that Shattered were undead.
Terrai.
That's Terrai.
Okay.
Okay, so two things are happening real quick. So I have to familiarize myself with everybody's name. Zevin is about to give a poem, and Shelby, as this is about to happen, what is Mud doing?
Mud is going to go up to an Agram guard and that looks to be in charge, and goes, "Mud reporting for duty," and I'm going to salute.
All right. And so go ahead and give me that poem for Zevin. What's he saying?
Well, I don't have a poem prepared, even though I looked. So I'm going to just ad-lib. She is the fairest of the land, the one who protects us all. We must give all for her, for she would do the same for us. But what can we do to protect such a powerful figure? Why, we can defend her empire. We can defend her empire, help stop this evil of necromancy, who is intimidating her, and for that, we must work. We must help where we can. It's not very much of a poem, but you know what?
It turned into a speech. So yeah, like you've got people's like attention as like these people are like kind of gathering around you, and when Mud goes up to the Relistrate and it's just like, Mud reporting for duty. What can I do to help? The Relistrate's kind of like watching Zevin like gather like these people's attention, and he's going to point at Zevin, and just like he's no longer using his I am addressing you as an official of the Empress's court. Everybody, stop. And he's gonna say, you're not in my detachment here at Fort Dale Watch, but that one over there is garnering quite a following. Fanaticism can be used if its energy is properly channeled, but just like these Ilderon that are running amok in the shadows of the town now, it can also be a detriment.
You want me to take him out?
And he's gonna say no. That energy, that fervor for our Empress and her empire, we can use that. Who are you? Quit dying on me, guys. Who's your raid leader? That is something I've got to give you that I have also already. Her name is Amira. She is on a raid in she's on a raid right now in the town of Murkwaters. And basically she was just like, all right, you just watch the logistical trail until we get back. You weren't needed for this raid. It is going really well in their favor. I have her character card and I can send that to you.
Okay.
But yeah, he just asked, who's your raid leader?
Amira, sir.
He's gonna nod and say, she'll be deployed in, her and her riders will be deployed in Murkwaters for the better part of this month. Till she returns, I will take command of you. How about you keep an eye on that group for me? If you determine that fanaticism's getting out of line, try and direct it back to a proper source.
As you wish.
I am also going to go up to the official and just inform him, like, I'll take the job.
I'll take the job. And he's
not with him, preferably.
Yeah, and he's going to pay he's gonna look down at you and say, information pays 450 ruby pieces for anything you can bring back.
All right. Kind of like shifting the strap of my heavy crossbow that's on my back. I'm just gonna go ahead and start walking.
Okay, well, also, too, it is late in the evening, probably just touching the time before this town has to turn in. This Market Row, one of the reasons that it would be, why it would be so populated this late is because it has a very popular tavern in it that most people would either be like gathering at or still trying to trade around until the final moments of there's no daylight here because undead don't really need to sleep unless they want to till the final moments of like business hours are over and then reverie hours start.
I think Zevin's going to try and continue on with this poem and then get people to tell what information they might have to him and try and consolidate all into one source.
Okay,
could I do like a performance to get people riled up? Like, yeah, tell me everything you know.
Yeah, you can go ahead and give me a persuasion check. Real quick, Bojo, for Berrig.
Oof.
Would Berrig be one of these people that raised his hand?
No, I don't think he'd be one to raise his hand, but he'd definitely be keeping an eye on them.
Okay.
Just watching, seeing what they might start.
Okay. And Anthony, how about Madara? Would she have like raised her hand, or would she just be watching this?
I'd say she'd be with the crowd, kind of sauntered in.
Okay, gathered around these people, like, in a circle around Zevran?
Yeah, not one of the initial ones, but once they start gathering, she'd have wandered up, see what's going on.
Okay, and Lindsay for Genil, she's following the hunter, the
Yes.
Shattered Hunter? Okay. So you've, and I will handle everybody's actions all together. So, for Genil, she's just witnessed, Zevin, or not Zevin, Hunter talk to, or this Hunter, whatever he is, talk to the Agram, or rather the Relistrate, who is the appointed magistrate of this town, and just say, hey, whatever job you've got, I'll take it. 450 ruby pieces. The guy's like, okay, cool. Walks off. No contract. No anything. No direction. Just off.
Yeah.
In that, you see these two other... you see the Relistrate still mounted in front of you. And he's having a conversation with this Agram guard on a smaller direwolf mount. And this guy in front of you that he's talking to, you don't know if it's metal gleaming off of like his armor. Like most Agram guard wear robes and spears, and it's very rare to see one in like plate armor. But it almost looks like head to toe he is covered completely in armor in this late evening of the day in the desert, which is just like, oh, that's intense. They are both eyeballing this circle of people gathering around that spirited person who was like talking with about the Empress in such fervor. What does Genel want to do from there?
Okay, so right after Hunter goes and talks to the magistrate, is that what you said his name?
Yeah, you can call him a magistrate. His title would be Relistrate.
Oh, okay. After Genel sees Hunter talk to him, and not Hunter, he runs up to the guy that Hunter was talking to, and she's like, "I'll join too," and then runs after Hunter.
All right. And we will come back to you two. All right. So in the and then so from there, Mud is going to witness somebody come up, ask the Relistrate a couple of questions. Well, not even questions. Just say, "Hey, I'll do this." The Relistrate reiterates his information. The guy walks off. Another like eager woman just runs up and's like, "Hey, I'll do it too," and runs off behind the other guy. You see them walking behind you, and then you also see this crowd gathering around Zevin. What does Mud want to do?
Mud's gonna just get as close as he can to the guy just to see what he's saying, what he's doing, and he actually is going to kind of blend into the crowd, and he is going to use disguise self.
Okay, is he going to get off of his mount?
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
Just a normal citizen sitting on top of
he's gonna get off of his mount.
Okay.
Tell the mount to stay.
Yeah. Well, you could even send it to the stables inside of the inn if this is like where Mud is staying while he's in town, because these mounts are pretty well trained. They are, slightly smarter than an average dire wolf. That magic empowers every aspect of them. That energy of the Darkened Veil.
Is it a wolf or a tiger? I thought it was a tiger.
Oh yeah, it is. So yeah, we'll keep that for the Relistrate. It is the Relistrate is on a dire wolf. The rest of the Agram Guard rides giant desert cats. Thank you for reminding me about that. Those are notes I'd have if I prepared for this session. Okay, so yeah, he sends his cat off to the stables and casts Disguise Self on himself and then walks towards the crowd.
Well, I like intermingle in the crowd and disguise self.
Okay.
Like when people aren't paying attention to me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get as close to the guy as possible and see if I need to intervene.
Okay, go ahead and just roll me a stealth check.
When you say as close as possible, are you just like walking up and standing like right in front of?
Well, see, that's what we're about to determine right now. So roll me the stealth check, and that's just going to be like how well is he just kind of like integrating with this crowd, because one of the things, like as soon as you like dismount as an Agram Guard, Agram Guard, they often wear dark robes, and they have these horrifying face masks of just, on that they wear that's just supposed to intimidate, like, people. So most of the time, like, the crowd's going to, like, part around you, but if you take a moment and you take, like, that face mask off, you turn away, you cast the Disguise Self, and just kind of like begin weaving through people. In 1 second, it's just like, is that an... And then, you pass behind somebody and it's like, oh, I guess, like, wasn't an Agram Guard or anything. But anyways, you're going to integrate with this crowd. All right, so for the crowd, talking to Zevin, that persuasion check, I'm going to take the first one, that 18.
Yeah. No, the 18.
Oh,
was,
okay, yeah, that was a different one. So that's the...
Yeah, it would be an 11. I didn't have advantage. I just had the...
That is perfectly fine. All right. So, Zevin is going to, start asking people of, like, what do you know of this, what do you know of this cult? What do you know of this cult? One person's going to step up and say, I just moved out here from working in the Surreal Ranch. Got real good with a bloke that was working for the advisor. Got in real good work for a bloke who was working with the advisor, Alaris, and when the advisor went missing, he had a pretty good reason. He had a pretty good theory as to why. I've never been good about investigating much, but I could go see if I can find him for you.
That would be fantastic. Thank you, sir. Would we have started with? I guess I did start with some gold. How much is like a gold piece worth, like in terms of a day's labor?
You do have gold. That's going to be something very interesting for this city right here. A gold piece for a trained laborer, it would be 1 gold piece for a day's work. It would be 5 silver for an untrained laborer, or it's 2 silver for an untrained laborer.
Alright, can I insight this guy and see if he's making stuff up or if it looks like he is?
Go ahead.
Alright, yeah, not too good at that.
I mean, he said he worked for the Surreal Ranch. He's doesn't seem like he's from this region of the Darken Vale. Also, it doesn't seem like he's too smart. And those are just things you get off of a 10.
So he's probably not smart enough to lie too well, so I'm going to give him 2 gold pieces.
Alright. So
I have some from my entertainer background, so...
As you give him a gold piece, he's gonna look at it and say, like, these 2 gold pieces as you offer it to him, and he's gonna look at it and say, Mister, these don't do me no right good. I can't leave the Darken Vale.
Yes, I'm sorry. So they have their own currency here, right?
They trade in ruby pieces, specifically with the undead.
Alright. Is there any exchange?
Yeah, 1 gold piece is gonna get you about, out here. A gold piece would exchange probably roughly down to, no, it'd probably be about 5 gold for 1 ruby piece.
Alright. And is this just bad conversion rates, or is it like that what it's actually?
Ruby pieces are a bartering currency in the world. They change everywhere you go. There's no official exchange rate for them. There's a trade organization that is one of the only like organizations that outside factions other than a few scholarly factions that has any sort of presence inside the Darken Vale. And that currency they use is ruby pieces inside of that organization. So it's going to change every place you go, but a ruby piece has a very high value inside the Darken Vale. And other places in the world, it's not as important. Most of the time in other places, 1 gold trades for about 1.5 rubies. And the Darken Vale, it would be about 1 ruby piece trades for 5 gold.
And there aren't people who are just exploiting this endlessly?
Yes, there are. There are merchant. One of the huge cultures here is far trading. People will go and buy stuff in other regions and then caravan it to the Darken Vale. That's why all these bazaars just kind of like set up, because these people are eternal. They, as long as they live in the Vale, they're not gonna die. They don't have a soul. There's no afterlife. So they just like collecting things, and they love odds and ends and trinkets and things like that, and bartering for them. And that's just part of the culture here.
Well, I will give this guy 1 trinket.
1 trinket? Okay.
Yeah, it came with my entertainer background. I have no clue what it is. It just said trinket.
Okay, I will roll it for you, okay? And
unless it's something really cool, then I want to keep it, and I'll figure something out.
Alright, I've gotcha. The trinket table is on... I always forget where this thing is at. Here we go. Page 160 of the player's handbook. And I rolled a 6. You give him an old chess piece made from glass. And he is going to look at that and whistle and say, "Oh, that's mighty fine." And pocket it. And he's gonna hurry off to find this person for you.
Alright.
Another person's like, as you give them a trinket, hand it like this whole trinket, another person's gonna step up and say, "Yeah, I saw I saw a living rye headed north out of town.
Who did he say? Also insight, just to...
This information is significantly less trustworthy than the other guy. He only responded after you rewarded the other guy. He said he saw a living rye headed outside of town. A living rye is the name that they have been, the cult has been calling themselves. Basically, like Terai means walkers of like Fictir. There's a word in the world called Serai, which is like walkers of the fire. And basically Rye just like denotes sentience. So a living Rye would be like the children of Olivia.
Alright. Just clap him on the back and say, well, you should go report that to the guard there, to the auditor.
And he's gonna look a little defeated and say, alright. And just kind of like leave your group. You now have 9 willing volunteers.
No, it's okay.
All right, so
Mud's has heard basically enough, and has he gotten like super close to?
Yeah, he's worked his way to like the circle formed around Zevin. And he can definitely see him.
Am I right next to Nick's character?
I would imagine he's like in the middle of this circle as kind of like a ringleader or like some sort of performer. And that there'd be, like 5 feet of space just around him as like people kind of like marvel at the poetry and stuff. If you step near him, like next to him, you're gonna break that stealth check and everybody's gonna see you.
Yeah, so I am actually going to drop my my whatchamacallit.
Okay, before we handle this action, I'm going to let you do this, and I do want you to tell it to me. But real quick, I want to talk to Bojo for Barrett. Guy who sauntered off said that his contact worked for the advisor, Algoris. Barrett is going to recognize that name as the contact, or as Algoris is the person he's looking for, not the scribe who worked for him. But you would know that that guy has a contact to that person.
Alright.
If you want to do anything with that information, you are more than welcome to. But go ahead and finish describing Mud's action to me.
So it's Nick that's, is Nick the only one, that's surrounded?
Yes, Zedrin.
Zedrin, right, is his character.
Yes.
So Mud is gonna drop, back into the, his appearance as a, Agram guard. And, he's gonna be like, alright, show's over, people. Move along. And he's going to address Zezrom and say, it looks like you have a knack at finding information. Why don't you go and hire yourself on? Or
well, I mean, I did. I didn't know there is there some kind of contract I should be... Or, he just said bring information, so I'm getting information to bring.
Understood. And Mud's just going to point to... what is he gonna point to? Brandon, help me out. What's the rules there?
Okay. What would we be trying to point out, like to a place to rest, or like a dungeon, or the magistrate's office, or a tiny bit more information?
Where is he signing up to go on whatever adventure this is?
Oh, yeah, so, the Relistrate, after, you walked off, the Relistrate would be heading off to a different, area of town. His whole entourage of criers and spirits, in Agramgard, like, following him as he's, like, rounding up more people in another market row over. And you would hear them shouting from the distance. But, it would be you, you have, the authority, from Relistrate to, you know, act on his behalf.
Oh, okay. So I would have the
Yeah, so
authority.
when you say sign up, you know, you can bring that thumb right to the chest.
I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Is there some kind of contract I need to sign? Because I'm not too keen on those, but...
Sure thing, and he's going to point to the tavern and say, "Have a seat in there. We'll get to you shortly."
All
I
right,
got to
then.
this tavern, or like I didn't specify where I was going.
Yeah, I assumed you would be, just because after a day's battle of whatever you just got done fighting in the desert that, you know, triggered your shattered, like, demonic transformation, it would be good to rest. Or you can walk off into, you know, the late evening night sky and just sleep in the sand. Don't advise it. It gets terribly cold.
Yes, but I mean, like, I'm used to the desert environment. It is my favorite terrain, so...
Just digs a little sand hole and it's like, this is it.
Basically just
Brushes
like,
it
this is
over
more
himself.
comfortable than any bed.
Yeah, you know, like, you could walk off and then just kind of, and head to, the, tavern on this, market row. That tavern is the, Laughing,
Jackal?
Laughing Jackal, no. Well,
Let's have more stuff named after me.
I actually did name it the Laughing Spirit Inn, but actually I do want to name it after an animal instead. The Laughing Vinpendon Inn. Or the Laughing Vinny Inn. That's what we'll call it. The Laughing Vinny. And I'm going to rename that.
The Laughing Jackie.
Oh, you know what? I like that better. I was naming it after that giant desert frog we created, the Bimpendon. But I like the Laughing Jackie better. So it is now the Laughing Jackie Tavern.
So, Zevin would probably not... He'd probably be staying at there or around, but would it be possible for me to use this to pay for a stay? That's for my background entertainer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Alright. So, the crowd is going to start dissipating at, you know, like, oh god, it's, you know, it's one of the hands of the Empress. Like, we gotta respect this man. And, as Mud, you know, dissipates the crowd, they're going to start leaving. Real quick before that, though, for Barrett and Madara, so Barrett knows this guy is going to have some information that could possibly lead him to Algoris in a few moments. What would he be doing as, like, this crowd is dissipating?
I think for right now he'd probably just kind of follow him from a distance if he's heading away.
Okay. And for Madara, same thing of, like, this guy's gonna have some information soon that, you know, could lead to, like, these cultists, possibly. A member of the Agram Guard has just came over and, you know, just kind of told you guys to, like, break it up. What's Madara doing as this is happening?
Madara would be standing there still for a moment, watch where the person who just gathered all this information is heading, and then follow suit, but not right behind.
Alright, so replace the glaive. Oh, well, okay, so this is going to be the first moment that Madara really kind of stands out to everybody. And I should have had you guys doing this earlier. So the crowd's going to be dissipating, and, you know, as they do, you know, it's going to kind of part and you guys are going to see this one figure kind of lingering. So, Anthony, go ahead and give us a description of Madara before she heads off.
Alright. Madara is a 6'1", average build woman with short brown hair, but very bright green eyes, slightly tanned. Probably not that uncommon for humans in this area. She's
Like
walking.
caramel.
She's currently wearing a set of chainmail and walking around with a on her side and a greatsword on her back.
Okay.
And a longbow as well.
And what's the expression on her face as this is kind of like going on?
Inquisitive, but kind of stoic.
Okay.
More like thinking hard about things, but not really showing much more emotion than that.
Alright, so, as you begin to walk off after this guy, what everybody else is gonna see is, like, you know, this Aggrum guard told everybody to, like, dissipate, and then, you know, like, this person's heading off to go get this information about the Ilderon, and Zevran, Woody? I need to familiarize myself with all of your passive perceptions. 12. Okay, that's not terrible.
Not too good.
Oh, you do have passive insight too, so that's a thing
Like
this edition.
12 across the board, or just?
I can tell you it's not across the board.
And
Not a wise character.
yeah, I'm just familiarizing myself with this. Let's look at this. That's good, and I need to look at one more.
Madra's got a 10.
Great, awesome. The
No Roman Drakes in this group.
that's better for me. All right, so and yeah, everybody's gonna notice just kind of as this guy Madara doesn't notice. So as this guy walks off, the crowd starts dissipating. There's like this one member of the crowd. She's like equipped to the T, and she just kind of looks off like stoically at the path that this guy's taking, and then waits a step, and then walks in his direction.
Would Zevin notice this? Or?
Yes, everybody noticed that except for Madara because she's doing it. And I just need to roll one other thing. Awesome, cool. All right, so Madara is headed after this guy that is going to collect the information. Ginhill and Hunter are headed into the tavern. Mud, and I'm familiarizing myself with everybody's name. Zevin are Mud is kind of like pushing Zevin towards the tavern of just like, come on, break it up. And Barrett's kind of just like watching this from a distance, like seeing where Zevin and Mud are pushed to. So that said, what does Zevin do? Because this is kind of like hinging on Zevin's actions right now. Before we go to the next El Sino.
Well, he's being pushed along. He's not going to resist.
You don't resist the cops.
Nope. I might have to go to work a bit soon, but I can go in there. What do you really need from me in here?
We'll let you know when we get there.
I mean,
I'm
are you
trying to
be
find out.
intimidating to people who's trying to help you?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I just knew that crowd would get a little bit fierce if you.
I mean, they wouldn't. I'm good at controlling crowds. It's sort of my job.
We'll
Not
agree.
helping your argument.
Agree.
Just say.
A bard, that's what we do. Control how crowds react. Want people to be rowdy, tell them rowdy stories. If you don't do that. But yeah, I play a crowd. I'm a bard. That's my job. I can make sure that they won't get rowdy.
We'll see. Just go on in there. I'll join you in a second. We can talk.
Alright, I guess. I will go.
All right. So Zevran heads into the
Seven.
Zevin.
Why?
Sorry, seven. Zevin.
Think 7 with a Z.
It always takes me a session and a half for everyone's name, so I'm gonna butcher everyone tonight. So Zevin heads into the tavern. Barid, does he follow?
So the person that said they had the information about Algaris, what way were they? They were heading towards the tavern or
No, they're headed southwards.
southwards?
It is the opposite direction of the Laughing Jackie.
I think you'd probably try and rush up and catch up to the person, see if he could get any more information about what he knows about the person and where he might be able to find him.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you can rush up and just kind of like follow behind him. And so Ginil and Barrett are headed after this guy, while the rest of the party goes into the tavern. So Barrett, oh, I'm sorry, not Ginil.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, this is Madara. I'm butchering everybody tonight, so just a session and a half.
It's okay.
That's all I
You're
have.
saying it right, you're just not remembering who's who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so Madara and Barrett are following this guy. The rest of the party heads inside of the tavern. I like handling things sequentially so I can just like keep my mind on where everybody is at. So while you're walking, of course running past Madara, running next to this guy, and getting alongside of him, what do you say to him? You're gonna notice also his skin is like starting to rot. He is some sort of zombie. He doesn't have a whatever it is. It seems like it's stopped. Like he's preserved at this point, but he doesn't have a very pleasant aroma to him. It definitely smells like he's been dead for at least a few days. That just putrid must, just kind of like, no matter how much he washes, he's always going to have that just aroma, like, right next to him.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. He just mentioned the name passing, sort of deal, or like.
Yeah. So what he said earlier was that he is not from this area. He's from. He worked at the Sario Ranch, raising livestock. Somebody who worked underneath Algoris in this town got him a job. Algoris has gone missing. He doesn't have information on the cult, but that person might know more than him. Then Zevin told him to go get that person and let me talk to them instead. And so he's like, okay, I'm gonna go get that person and let you talk to them instead. And then he just walked off.
Okay, I guess at that point maybe he probably would just keep following him a bit, then, and just try and see if he can see who it is that he's going to hopefully meet up with.
Okay, so And this is my style of DMing that everyone's just gonna like take some time to get adjusted to. You can do that. If you're not asking me though to make a check, I'm assuming you're just doing so regularly, like just following behind this guy, like not saying much, a couple like good few steps behind, and you and Madara definitely look like assassins. Like, you guys lingered and you're following him and you're not saying much, and he knows information about a secret cult, and he's gonna just kind of be like looking over his shoulder as he's as you guys are following him. And the first time it's like, oh, they're only on one market row over. Oh, they follow me 2 huts. Oh, okay. Oh god, they're still there. Before, like, he takes off into a sprint, and he is definitely freaked. Here, he's definitely spooked.
All of a sudden, I am there and I shoot him.
Quest over, campaign over.
It's like problem solved. He's dead.
If you guys want to keep following him, you're going to have to chase him or calm him down. Actually, let's go with that. I like this better.
If he takes off in a sprint, Madra would just be like, not worth my time to chase some fool. She'll start heading back towards the tavern where everyone is.
Alright. How about Barrett?
While he's looking for the information, he wouldn't want to, he wouldn't be looking to exert himself that much for it, so I guess if he had caught that he said that the guy would be getting information and bringing it back, he would I guess probably head back to the tavern and hope for the guy to return later on.
Okay. Alright, so he gets terrified and starts running from you guys. As he does, you guys are just like, idiot, and just turn around and head back to the tavern. Meanwhile, at the tavern, the Laughing Jackie. Let's see, what do we got? We'll play this also. And give me one sec. That's not good. I don't like that. There we go. Alright. So, at the Laughing Jackie, as you step into this area, this is going to be one of the nicer taverns in Fort Dalewatch, as most of the living people that come in to trade out of town would be, congregating to this tavern. The attractions here, they are going to have they're going to have dancers here, and there's also going to be a small like gladiatorial arena here, just with stone and dirt, just kind of like sprawled out underneath the stage. Like there is a elevated stage, and then right in front of it, there's just like this almost like what you'd expect to be like a mosh pit for people to just kind of like grapple it out and do some sort of like exchange version of honor dueling here. For the most part, this everywhere under the torches, this place is lit. Or rather, this place is lit. This place is occupied. Any place there's a torch and like a table, that seat is taken. There are some darker areas of this place, and definitely there are people in here that seem like dangerous desert travelers. Like, the reason why you come to the Darkened Vale, if you're not a merchant and you're not a Terai, is because you're an outlaw or an exile from someplace else. And everybody in here is going to look that part. That said, this is one of the nicer taverns, and people are very aware of that. And the dark corners of this place aren't really occupied, as, like, the groups that can are congregating around, like, the light and the torches here, and any place they can. And, like, these circles are forming. So there's areas in this place where you guys could have, like, a dark corner and talk alone. But anywhere you go, you know, you're going to have, like, your group can be viewed by anybody else's group if it's large enough that there is just, like, dots of people in places. But any place you sit, it's going to be in dim light. Okay, so, that's still on me. I was just like, okay, guys, but, the first group that steps in here is, going to be Hunter and, Ginil. Hunter, Jackal, you have somebody following you who is, helping out, with this, with this hunt.
Oh, okay. NPC, or is this another player?
Oh, it is. Ginhill.
Yeah, it's a woman who, it's another player, Ginhill. She ran up behind you as you accepted the, the job, and has been following you since.
Well, I assume I would have I wasn't paying attention. I assumed I would have at least, like, what do you want?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is your first opportunity to.
Okay. So wait, she's just been following me, like, no words spoken?
This is your first opportunity to talk. You guys accepted the job and then walked away and walked into the Laughing Jackie Inn.
Alright. I'm going to gesture to a table as I order a drink, and then I'm going to sit down.
Okay, I guess I join him at the table.
And I'm basically just going to ask, what can you do, and, like, could you be useful to me? I have an extensive knowledge of monsters and other sort of things. I'm very good at what I do, and what I do is kill things.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good, because, like, I heal things, so that's what I do, and I'm pretty good at that too. I also, I'm good at finding information, so that's a good thing.
Kind of raises an eyebrow, like, what kind of information?
I mean, I got really excited because I saw you were also a tiefling, and I just, you know, I wanted to hang out and join you. If that's okay.
So your reason for joining me is because I'm a tiefling.
Well, no, I mean.
Or I guess we're shattered in this world, aren't we?
Yeah,
either works. The official term's shattered. The colloquialism turns into tiefling.
I mean, I didn't. Not just because you're a tiefling or shattered. I mean, yeah, kind of.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I think I could really be useful to your team, though. I mean, every fighter needs a healer, needs someone to help them, like, just in case, you know?
Mm-hmm. How good are you at sneaking around?
Well, I mean, I'm not terrible at sneaking around. Let's see. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at sneaking around. I think I could sneak around pretty well. Are you good at sneaking around? Is that what you do? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can sneak.
Alright, so as you are having this conversation, about at this point, like while you guys are sitting down, Hunter's ordered his drink. The bartender doesn't even seem to have noticed Hunter. It seems he's busy talking to another patron. It looked like they're having a pretty jovial conversation. Is this guy even on the job? Come on, man. Anyways, about this time is when Zevin and Mud shuffle into the tavern. You guys are inside the Laughing Jackie Inn. Same description, you know, every place under the torchlights is taken, filled to the brim. You guys have to, like, find a corner to occupy, just on the outer reaches of this tavern. And this is one of the nicer inns. This place is large. It's like, no, 100 square feet's not a good number. Let's go with diameter, or let's go with radius. It's probably got about 55 feet in just radius. It's not a circle. It's a multi-tiered building, but of just like area that this place just spans out as like this stacked. I hate the masonry term that these buildings are made out of because I forget it every single session. Oh, sand and mortar. There we go.
You mean sandstone?
No, this wouldn't be made out of sandstone. Fort Dale Watch gets knocked down a lot. But yeah, it would be made of sand, mortar, and just support beams through it. This outer town gets knocked down a lot. The fortress is fine. The fortress stands. That said, as Zevin and Mud walk in, they're gonna see, of course, you know, the two people who volunteered. Mud's gonna see the two people who volunteered earlier. They're just kind of having a conversation in the back alone here. And then, of course, the rest of the description of the tavern stands. Dancers, there's a place to fight, there's an unoccupied stage. Who's ever in charge of the serving staff seems engaged with a patron. And this place is about 50% occupied. Any place there's not bright light, you can find openings. Oh, I'm sorry, 3/4.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go take a table in, not bright light, I guess, just probably, yeah, and I'm gonna wait and see what Mud does. One thing you would notice is that Zevin doesn't really seem to be bothered by the darkness at all.
Okay.
He's seemingly fine with it, so take that as you.
Alright, as you sit down to talk, somebody comes to the stage and they are setting up. It doesn't seem like they're prepared yet to perform, but you see them moving instruments and stuff around the stage. I gotta think. Oh, Madara and Barrett are coming later. So you guys have probably about a minute or 2 minutes before the next group enters here. Is there anything Mud would like sit down and say to Zevin?
Where is Jackal's and Lindsay's character?
In relation to you guys, I actually rolled you a percentage die and came up 68. You guys would be in the same region of the tavern. Just kind of, you know, force because of these groups, you know, who are all concerned with each other. Of just like, oh, we know who comes to the Darkened Vale. Like, because this isn't the inner place of like the slummy. This is like the nice. This is one of the nicer, more prestigious places for outsiders to come. So they'd be a little bit hesitant on the interaction. So force just kind of like to the corner of like one of these places. You'd be about just a table or 2 tables away from the 2 individuals you saw earlier that volunteered for the mission. And you know, those 2 being Hunter, the Shattered, and then the woman in armor following him.
Bud is going to actually go and sit with them and point to 7 to 2.
So I notice him coming over, and I just kind of stop the conversation as I stare at him.
Oh shit! It's the cops. Put up the drugs, man. All right.
I kind of, yeah,
go ahead.
I'm kind of just like eyeing him, like, why is he coming over here? What's going on?
Yeah, this, hulking, like, shining man, prestigious gleam off of every, torchlight, or actually, so this is, another one of the first moments, I guess, and I should have did this earlier, where, Mud stands out. Do you want to describe Mud for us, Shelby?
Sure. He is going to, he is in armor, but he's also wearing cloaks and stuff, to hide. The fact that he is mostly autonomous except for his face. And he has a very wide cavalier hat with a feather coming up. And Mud is... he's always brushing and wiping like his arm or his shoulder. With imaginary, like if there's imaginary dirt, you see him brushing himself off.
All right, and what does he say anything, or does he just stay there pointing?
So when I sit down, it's like apparently I'm in charge of this group's entry to go look for this by my superiors.
Stay there.
I heard you guys had already volunteered, so I'm just adding another to the ranks.
Okay, Ginhill is pretty apprehensive looking about getting another friend. And meeting the cops in general.
I'm just staring him down and it's like, thanks, but I've got my own little group here, so if you don't mind, I would prefer if you went.
All right. So as you are having this conversation, the person who has been setting up on the stage is going to start their performance. And I need to look up one spell real quick. And you guys hear a chant of... you guys hear a chant of a spell, and with it, music is going to like start playing as these images start flashing and dancing of like a this wispy ball of light appears over the stage and starts forming into different shapes. Taking the shape of a dancing creature, a singing bird, and just like dancing through the crowd. As this is happening, the performer themselves is playing a single instrument, and out of the 4 instruments she's set up on the stage, one of them is one of them at a time. They're being picked up and used by presumably some invisible force. As this happens, though,
oh, don't mind Matt. Sorry, I'm messing with stuff.
As this happens, and the light begins dancing around this illusionary creature begins like dancing around the heads of everybody, just floating over the area near the stage of this bar. You guys are going to see it swoops down by the table that that Mud is pointing at, and that person, like, you know, it's, you know, you're going to see them kind of like wince a little bit, and horns sprout from their head. Their skin color changes. Tail, Zevin's demonic transformation happens, and then same thing as it moves by Ginhill. It triggers her demonic transformation too, just from like her blood interacting with this raw, you know, arcane energy.
Ginhill doesn't like that.
Yeah.
But
Hunter's unbothered.
So, Hunter, Genhill, and Zevin are in their tiefling forms for 4 hours for Zevin, 4 hours for Genhill, and 3 hours, additional hours for Hunter.
So 4 hours.
Does this look like it's intentional? Like,
No, she wasn't trying to trigger your guys'. This is a part of her performance.
Well, like, this is just part of being a. Basically, I make no reaction to the chain. Well, actually, I've already changed, so.
she had it swoop down like on both of our tables, so I was wondering if like she was specific.
It's dancing. It's dancing over the heads of everybody in the crowd. Sometimes going on people's tables, and like the little singing creature is kind of like moving its paws back and forth, and then taking a different shape, flying into the air and moving to a different table, and it is going along with her performance.
Just a soft groan, I guess.
Yeah. It is not hard to see that this is... well, no, I mean, you can roll a wisdom save. God, did she conjure this thing, or is it an illusion? Who knows?
It's probably... I know the stuff, but I'll do the save. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty... It's like, if it's an illusion, it's a pretty good illusion.
It's probably an illusion. Doesn't take a bard having better magic than
but yeah, if that changes like how Genel perceives this person at all, he too is also a shattered.
yeah, Genel is a bit more trusting now of Zevin. She's like, okay, well, at least, I mean, he's like me, kinda? I mean, maybe, I don't know. I still don't particularly love meeting new people. I guess he's okay. Still don't like the cop.
Alright, so like, basically while this is going, it's like, where's that rotting corpse with my drink?
You see him, you see him interacting with that patron still. And what was a jovial conversation is kind of turning into like roughhousing. He's got a huge smile on his face, and he kind of shoves the guy. The guy shoves him back, and he shoves him a little bit more.
Okay, now I actually am going to cast Thaumaturgy and make my voice boom. And it's like, where's my drink?
Hey, Genhel flinches. She's like,
All right. And about this time, I think that's a good time to introduce. I think that's a good time to introduce the other members of the party. So Hunter, or rather, Barid and Madara step inside of the Laughing Jackie. Right at the moment of like this light display is going on, this wonderful conjured creature is like flying over the heads of patrons and dancing on tables, and you guys see Barid can probably make out that maybe some unseen servant is like playing these instruments in the back as they're being picked up on their own and being played in conjunction with the performer on stage, who's also picking up different instruments and playing them just as needed, sometimes changing the tune to this creature. And it's like this wonderful like little jovial display. The bartender's getting into like a little rough play with his friend, and they've almost got each other like in a headlock, one giving the other a noogie. And then catching your attention from the corner of the bar, you guys see the Agram guard from earlier, who was dispersing you, pointing at the bard, who is now completely demonic, pointing at the bard, talking to two more like demonic shattered people, and then one of them, just booming voice over the end, just shouts, "Where's my drink?" And some eyes are going to start like turning to the table as the music's interrupted. Go ahead.
Seven gives him a big scowl.
And actually, I'm going to roll you a percentage die on that. The bartender is going to look up at like that, and the music stops, and then he's gonna break away from his friend, and then just kind of like unsure of what to do. The performer starts again, moving, her illusion. Like it's just been kind of like frozen in air. And then, she continues her song. Let's go with that instead. Changing the beat a little bit. Alright. So, Zevin scowls at them. Barad and Madara, what do you do?
Madara, seeing the bard who was talking to the crowd before, is now in a completely different form. Feels slightly more comfortable talking to them directly. And we'll go over and join them at the table.
Okay. Two people join Zevin. They didn't really volunteer, but they listened to you earlier. You recognize them. They were too scared to raise their hand and be called on by teacher.
Oh, hello there. You were in the crowd earlier. Can I help you with something?
Yes, darling.
Oh, wait, did he come up to our table, or?
No, they're at Zevin's table. Go ahead, Anthony.
I noticed you were getting some information earlier. Has anything come of fruit of that?
Well, the guy went off. He's probably just going to try and find it, I suppose. Nothing yet. I mean, it's been like, what, 5-10 minutes?
I didn't...
The guard over there, and I'll lower my voice. The guard sort of, like, grabbed me for some reason. I don't know if he's completely on the up and up.
Sorry, I tried to mute myself before that one, but I couldn't.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd probably have to wait a little bit before stuff came back. Why? You want to help out in case?
I have my own needs to take care of, and figure maybe he have some information that could be useful.
I have information.
Well, potentially, if anyone else had come up to you since then.
Well, no, not the guard. Sort of pulled me away before I could get any other information. He said I was starting a riot or something. Didn't think the guard was so touchy over here. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to help me out in this, I can definitely tell you if something comes up of it. But it's sort of you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing. If you want to help in the investigation, of course I'm happy to share, but it's just me giving away information for free. That's not really the way the world works, you know?
Well, that's fair, but looking at you right now, darling, I might get stabbed if I scratch your back.
You know, that's sort of racist, but I get it. I mean, that's a risk. You could scratch anyone's back and get stabbed, unless you were talking about the horns and that was shattered. Racist. Anyway.
You would think someone who tells poetry for a living could understand a joke.
You know, sorry, I might be a bit touchy on that. Where I came from, but the best looked on, and I've experienced a lot of that kind of stuff in my life. But
well, that you and I have in common, my friend.
Yeah, it can be a tough place sometimes, but you know, you just gotta keep moving through. So yeah, if you want to help join, I think the guard's trying to convince those guys over here. Yeah, but I don't know if I really want to I don't know, that guy just yelled out, "Where's my drink?" and he interrupted that nice performance. But, well, yeah, just wait a bit. I think the guard will come back, and he's apparently the representative for this, maybe? So yeah.
So additionally, Zevin just, agreed to, like, share a portion of the rubies. 450 ruby pieces is nothing to shake a stick at. You could easily trade that for a couple thousand gold if you traveled outside the Vale, or something else. That is a lot of money. So, I mean, that's a motivating factor in itself. But that said, jumping over to the other members of the party, two people have just came up and started talking to Zevin as you guys are looking at the table. The bartender had loaded a drink for Hunter on a servant's tray. As he did, though, in the servants walking off, you guys see him start roughhousing again with that patron that he was talking to. The guy just kind of, grabs his, throws his arm around his neck, catching him from, behind, and he stumbles forward and knocks the drink off of the patron's serving tray. It's going to be a second before they get another one over to you.
I was going to do a perception to see if
I'm just watching all this and it's like, fucking useless corpses. Alright.
Yeah, at this point...
Service to that.
Yeah, at this point, Ginhill is kind of like, this guy doesn't have the best temper. Well, I don't know if this is a good idea.
At this point, it's like, I'm not even expecting a drink anymore. It's like, I hope he's not expecting me to pay.
Oh, cool, a new friend. Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna go talk to the other person.
I never said I was nice.
That's true.
Alright, if you guys wanted to do anything, you can. As you're sitting there and talking, yes.
Mud's gonna get up. He's gonna go up to the barkeep and look him in the eye and say, "Thank you."
He looks up from he looks up from an arm lock, or from a headlock.
And Mud's like, "I think you owe that man a drink."
And he's going to tap his friend's arm and say, "All right, Zello, you win. Yes." And looking at you, and he's gonna bow and say, "Master Guard, sir, yes." And he's going to pour it himself. And he's gonna say, for the delay. And he pulls out this. He's gonna go behind the bar, and he's gonna pull out this bottle that looks almost ancient. And on cocking it, pouring it out, this looks like less of alcohol and more of like slime. And as he pours like this mug half full of it, and I mean, like, you don't have a sense of smell. Yeah, so as he pours it, he's gonna like run his nose over it and just like take in the aroma, closing his eyes, and then hand it to you and say, "On the house."
Mud is gonna take his hat off and bow, and put his hat back on, and hand the drink to.
All right, bringing it back to your table.
I do have a sense of smell. What do I smell?
Smells like foreign fruit. Would Hunter know what a pineapple is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells like pineapple. It is sea green and it looks like slime.
Oh no.
Alright,
Ginhill eyes the drink suspiciously.
I'm going to take a very small sip of it.
It tastes like fresh. It tastes like fresh dirt, but it's slightly better than cheap ale. Just very slightly better than cheap ale.
It's like... Alright, I'm going to very slowly drink it. Wanting to keep my, senses... I don't want to get hammered, I want to keep my senses about.
Okay, so you're gonna slowly, drink it, which, for this beverage, is about at a normal speed. As you turn the glass upwards, it just kind of, like, trails into your mouth very slow. Like, if you were to turn this thing upside down, you still wouldn't be able to, like, quickly drink it.
Basically, it's like, I don't think it would leave the cup.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I slowly drink it. You don't have a choice. I'm kidding.
Like, I slowly drink it. That's great, because you don't have a choice.
Do you guys go to the table that Mud pointed you towards?
Yeah, Mud's like, now that you got your drink, let's get this show on the road.
Ginhill looks to see what Hunter's gonna do. Is like, I kind of already told this guy I was gonna stick with him, so I should probably do that.
When did you do that? Actually.
Well, I mean, I kind of tried to. At least.
I'm just like, follow if you want. I don't care. I will join the table. I'm just like, just know that if any of you die, I'm not sticking my neck out to save you.
Ginhill was very happy that he accepted her as a friend.
Friend is such a generous word. A quick extra body.
They're good buddies.
You got the Ilderon
Extra
version.
body.
You got the
Expendable.
Ilderon version of a friend request. Down.
Yes.
Expendable.
No.
Alright, so as you, as you guys get up and you, walk to the, table, whoever, that guy was, he is, back. Excuse me. He's back. The person that, volunteered the, information, and, he's, in the, doorway. He has another person, following him. And, he's gonna start approaching the table. You guys have a moment before he gets to this side of the bar. Him and his companions start approaching the table.
Mud's gonna look at Seven and go, "Who's your friends?"
Well, they are some of the other people that were helping volunteer. We were coming to an arrangement, and yeah, just talking about how we're gonna get this information, how it's ward's gonna be split up, that kind of stuff.
Mud
We can
nods.
always pin his hand. Oh wait, am I here? Sorry.
Yes, you are.
Alright. Well, we can always pin him to a wall and keep twisting the arrowhead until he talks.
Me? Who are you talking about?
Said we need information. You have it, guy?
I have a guy who was willingly giving us information, yeah. Not gonna torture them, though.
Ginhill kind of scowls at the idea.
Torture
Listen,
is such a strong word.
No, that's not a strong
Really?
word. That was what you described was literally torture.
Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Actually, I'm trying to think of the word. Physical encouragement.
No, that was torture. That was literal torture. If you looked up torture, that would be right there in the dictionary.
Yeah, I don't know if torturing is a good idea. Just a thought.
And as you guys are like having this conversation like about torturing, guy's going to approach the table looking hesitantly, looking specifically to Barrett and Madara, and
Like, this guy's not going to stab me, is he?
yeah,
That depends. What's your answer?
he's going to look, and he's got a companion with him, and she is a slimmer. She's a slimmer person, and it definitely looks like she's seen battle a couple times. And she has some scars across her. It's hard to get a tell of who's Terai and who's not Terai, especially in the Darkened Vale. You know, somebody could have lived here for thousands of years, and well, not thousands of years, but you know, hundreds of years, and just be like this rotting, decaying, like carcass of a person that's being sustained by the magic of this land. But also, somebody could have been somebody who's like turned into a Terai like a couple months ago and made the journey here to like preserve themselves. For all intents and purposes, she looks fine. But anyways, before we get to her, this man...
I would actually like, I would like to use my hunter sense on her.
Okay, yeah, she is not anything that pops on your hunter sense. Not a fiend.
She's not undead. She's not.
She is not. However, the man does pop up as undead, and she is.
And so does Mud.
Yeah, and Mud pops up as undead too.
The robot pops up as undead.
Yes, he registers as undead, and so as he leans down, he's gonna lean down to talk to Zevin specifically, pointing towards Madara and Barrett, and it's gonna say, and he's gonna say, you don't know who is a cultist in this town or not. These two might be enforcers of the Ilderon Tales. They were following me earlier, whispering to him.
I'm sure they were just trying to talk to you. I mean, hey guys, are you cultists?
You can't be serious. Like, I'm actually like, you cannot be serious right now.
Yeah, you know, like, what? You can't just ask someone if you're in a cult. They won't make you, right?
Hey.
Darling, I've
let me
killed
do the
for
talk,
people
Mara.
saying less to me.
You guys aren't cultists, right?
Darling, I've killed less for people saying things to me.
You're really just bad at convincing people, ain't you? Alright, well, if they are cultists, I am sure this guardsman we have right here would be happy to take them in and kill them. Stick a knife through their eyes and kill them.
Eyes.
And of course, Zevin is saying this with like, and did you decide on like the black eye that we were talking about, or is it like white and pupilless?
No, it's just a normal eye.
Okay, just a normal eye? Okay, cool. Just needed to clarify that. Okay.
Yeah, I still have my eye patch on, which I'd probably just take off at this point.
Okay, so yeah, he has the eye patch taken off and 2 eyes. Okay, cool.
Yeah, when he's in his human form, he has an eye patch in his right eye. So, he does not at the moment.
Alright, and as you say that, the lady is going to look down at them and say, they all look like fine functioning Sarai to me. They'd be targets of the Ilderon Tales, not members.
Well, there you have it.
Targets,
not members.
And the man's gonna lean up and say, well, I think some introductions are in order. He's going to say, this is, or actually he'd introduce himself first, and he'd say, I'm Bokrai. I've traveled from the eastern lands of the Darkened Vale. I worked on the ranch, doing exports in the Darkened Port. Oh wait, that's not his voice. I worked for the ranch, doing exports in the Darkened Port.
Very nice to meet you. I am Zevin, a wandering bard. I've been, a fan of Her Majesty, the Empress. But if I wanted to be truly respectful, I would obviously call her by her full title.
Please don't. Save the air.
Knight of the Third Eye, Guardian of Aram's Gambit,
There he goes again.
Ilderon Fair of the New World, the Redeemed Elizabeth. So, since I would call her that, I will, and I just have. And I have come over here to, help out whenever I can. Very nice to meet you.
And he is going to, he's gonna, nod and say, yes, for the glory of the Undying Empress. The, woman is going to, roll her eyes. Not making a poor, or not making a, attempt to, or not making a good, check to, hide it.
Ginhill kind of notices
I'm
this.
gonna like her. I can tell.
Yeah, Ginhill is taking a liking to the woman and is like, "Hi there. What's your name then?"
And she's gonna say, Chusik.
It's nice to meet you, Cheswick. I hope you have a great day. And then Ginhill kind of walks back.
And
back into her chair.
And she, like, as you say that, she's got red hair, super short. You know, and we will. Actually, I'm gonna roll this for her. And she is like, you know, she's got her like hands kind of like wrapped around her. She's got her hands kind of like wrapped around her shoulders and that like kind of. Not arms crossed, but kind of like that defensive posture of, you know, feeling uncomfortable. And as she does, like, you think it might be the angle she's standing, or maybe she's missing like 3 fingers on either one of her hands. Can
I roll an inspection to find out?
Oh yeah, definitely. Paying attention, she's definitely missing. Yeah, she's definitely missing 2 fingers on her right hand and her ring finger on her left hand. Yeah, and she seems very, and I'm gonna take that as a perception check. Investigation, you know, you're getting up and like actually like looking around her and like wait, oh, okay.
All right. Well, my perception is actually 1 higher, so that would be a 20.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, she and of course looks very uncomfortable to be here like out in the open. And she's going to, like, after that, she's going to say, thanks. And a very just slow, just, like, not even, like, that, there's no thanks to that. It's almost vicious. And,
well, like, I've been just steadying her, like, looking up and down. It's like, look, we're not here to make friends. We're here on a job. What information do you have?
Well, I'm actually open to making friends if you want.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here on a job. What information do you have? Well, you can just go walk
at another table then. This is my informant.
I'm ignoring him.
I'm looking for
As I'm just staring at the woman.
Hi.
Okay, so you guys like start having like this debate in front of her, and like, you know,
this is not. I'm ignoring them. I'm like talking just to her. What information do you have?
Yeah, exactly. But everything that just happened did happen. So, you know, you guys are talking back and forth, and then you just like kind of talk over him, and you know, she's going to be like watching all of this, and she's going to go on and say, she's going to go on and say. Typical. Everybody who comes to the Darkened Vale, not here by any reason that they want to be here. And she's going to just kind of like look towards Zevin and say, if you're looking for friends, you're in the wrong place, honey.
Well, you know, I can never be in the wrong place if you're in the right. If you believe yourself to be in the right place. And just for your information, I did come here I'm here voluntarily.
And her eyes are going to raise at that, and she's going to say, I'm a refugee from the Clutch. Came running from the bandit princes of the Crown. I was studying under Owl Goris. I passed through Darkenport before I got here, made a few contacts to try and keep myself safe. That said, it's not the Terai in town that need to be worried. They're taking influential people with souls, Serai. They're disappearing like wildfire.
Any particular locations? What key figures?
And she's going to like move one of her hands, and her 4 fingers on it just kind of like open, and say, "Were you not paying attention?" And she's gonna say the Relustrate's advisor is missing. Algoris Moonshine.
Was already aware of that. Anyone else?
And she's gonna roll a history check. And
the advisor was a Serai. He wasn't a Terai?
She nods and says, some scholar from the Galena Mave.
Where was... as a player, I don't remember. Was the advisor also from Galena Maid, or was he in a different spot?
You can, you don't know anything about this advisor. You guys just learned about this. You're learning everything about this quest right now.
And so, Ginhill is also a scholar, and is kind of perks up at the thought that it's a scholar, but is also really scared because she's a scholar. What if the scholar gets stolen?
Can we roll a history check to see if we know any members of the Galena Mave that have gone missing lately?
Yeah, you can.
Nope.
Can I make a history check to see if I know anything about this on my hunts?
Yes, you can.
Also, no.
Yeah, so I mean, Scholars of the Galena Mave, it's just like a big old library on an island.
Okay, so I could roll a history check too, I mean, if that's okay, because, like, I know scholars. I'm a scholar.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
Okay, so that's 1d20, right?
Yep, 1d20
if you go on your
if you go on your thing and just hit history, it'll roll it automatically for you.
You are a... Yep, yeah. You should have it there.
Okay, one sec, sorry.
Okay.
Just hit history, and then...
Also, I can... Ouch.
Mm.
Also,
All right.
Brandon, I can probably be here for like another 20 minutes, but
Okay, we're about to wrap up. Alright, so, yeah, you guys are all gonna be scratching your heads like, are there any other scholars going missing? And, like, as everybody's, like, thinking on this, like, you guys aren't gonna, like, come to the conclusion that you've heard of any other scholars in the region. And, Chuskin is going to, say, or Chuskin is going to say, I wouldn't, rack your brains too hard about it. It doesn't seem like they're targeting anyone specifically. Young... And this is going to be strange, and she's going to say a young, the only other prominent member that's gone missing is a young Terai girl by the name of Savannah. The Empress will be oh, go ahead.
What would make her prominent if she's just a young Terai girl?
She's going to say, it's rare, possibly, one in, and she's gonna stop herself and say, excuse me, it's one of the, Path Captain's, child, and she's the daughter of a Terai, but she has a soul. It's impossibly rare, possibly one in hundreds of thousands of children.
I'm actually surprised by this. It's like corpses have the ability to breed when they don't die.
Well, I mean, they're not corpses.
And she's gonna say, you'd be surprised at the magical anomalies that can happen inside the veil. And she's gonna say, but yes, she is one of the more recent ones to disappear. I don't like being out here because I feel like I'm on their list. She continues to like look around, kind of uncomfortable.
Mud, was it? Mud?
Say it again?
Yeah.
I'm talking to Shelby. Mud, would the guard have anywhere you could put this? Slightly, like, not in prison, but like, witness protection? Something like that? She's given you information and she might be in danger.
Her best bet is to stay here in the tavern. I'm sure I can convince the tavern keep to let her stay. The Agram guard is spread pretty thin here.
Well,
it is only by your good luck that I was able to assist.
Oh yeah, perhaps that would that work? I forget her name. What was it?
Chuskin.
Chuskin.
And yeah, when you asked her if that will work, she is going to, open, her, cloak a little bit and, just kind of, flourish it as, she, takes a seat, next to, Mud, and she's gonna sit at the, table and say, if you think the Agram Guard can protect me, I'm more than happy to. But you don't know who in this town is turning for or against the Darkened Veil. As she opens her cloak and sits down, Ginil is going to notice the robe she is wearing. That's a Chantry of Unity.
Oh!
There's a Chantry of Unity symbol on there. Either she has some association with your Chantry loosely.
So, okay, I always liked her anyway, so I'm gonna say to her, I'm gonna be like, so, and then I say a greeting common among the people that, like, worship Umia, the goddess of the sea, because I'm really excited to meet someone else, because where I'm from, nobody, like, hardly anybody worships her, so I'm like, hi! Again?
You could say anything, anything related to your Chantry of, like, you know, the tides the tides rise with mercy over our meeting, or rise with fortune of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
yeah, definitely. So I say the tides rise with mercy over a meeting. Like, I'm super excited. I just saw that you're part of the Chantry of Mercy.
Of Unity.
Unity.
Yeah, and she's like, as you say that, she's going to look down and say, "Oh, this. Yes. The tides favor our meeting."
I want to roll an insight. That seemed very hesitant.
You definitely can.
I already don't trust anyone, so.
Don't trust them. Yeah. So, first thing, Ganil is a cleric of Umia. She's decked out in holy symbols. I'm assuming, like, you have her, like, her holy symbol either on a chain or inscribed on your armor someplace.
Yes.
And she didn't notice it at first, Like, when she says, like, oh, yeah, I work for the Chantry, it definitely seems some sort of sketch.
So does that mean she's not really that great of oh. Ginho doesn't know that though, right?
No, this is for me.
Because that's
Yeah.
only you. Okay, so can I roll for insight then?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
I
let
would
me do that.
You can, just warning you though, that is a bit of metagaming. We try to avoid that.
Not really.
Is it?
It's something that
Yeah.
she would.
I mean,
I-
yeah,
I know, but,
you
like,
can roll.
The only,
You can roll insight on it.
Okay, I'll do that.
I'm just saying.
Okay, I get a 23.
And same thing with you. You know, like, you're you don't hide your religion in this country. You don't have to. The Darkened Veil likes Umiya. So one, kind of weird she's like wearing that under like her cloak, and then two, you know, if she was like a member of the Chantry, this is not how a member of the Chantry acts. They are, you know, open, they're inviting, they show mercy. She seems pretty much the opposite.
Yeah, I actually assumed that she was a worshiper of what's her name? Soyasa, the person that I don't like as much. But I mean, I'm kind of have hope that she's still a good person because like just because she's hiding it, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that she doesn't love her religion or anything. It just means that maybe she's worried about getting judged. I mean, so I like her still.
Okay. So yeah, she's going to say, so yeah, praise the water.
And
Yeah, close enough.
I'm like, okay, yeah, go water.
Go water. As we bond over our mutual faith and
Yes,
Our supposed mutual faith.
right.
Okay, so as you guys are sitting here talking, and I'm never gonna remember his name. Bokrai is going to kind of like look over at everyone and say, "All right, so I provided the information." And he's gonna like hold out his hand and say, "I get the 450 rubies, right?" Just kind of like looking around.
That the guard should have that.
Yeah, I kind of point at the guard.
Mud's gonna look at him and go, "Didn't you already get paid?" And like stare at him.
Like, are you being sincere about this, or are you like bullshitting him?
Oh,
He did. Yeah, he did get a few coins, and he was going to say, "I just I just assumed that I was part of the. I was just assumed I was a part of the crew getting the payment too." Chuskin is going to look up and say, "Bokrai, darling, don't stress your brain. We haven't done much of anything yet."
Yeah. Zevin's just sitting back, like, acting like he's not a part of this
Well, just like, yeah, just hide the face, hide the face, hide the face.
when the topic of money comes up.
I never agreed to pay anyone, so this is not my concern.
All right. So she is sitting at the table with you guys, just kind of like waiting for a plan or a course of action. Of like, you know, you guys told her, look, like, oh yeah, the Aggrim Guard can protect you. You know, looking to Mud of like, the Aggrim Guard does that, right? Mud's like, probably. And then, you know, she's
I
like,
never said any of that.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you guys giving? Why are you guys giving her false hope?
Yeah, and so she sits down with you guys, and Chuskin is just like still sitting above the table, just kind of like waiting for a moment. Just like waiting for a moment of just like, all right, for the fervor of our undying Empress, Okay, well, the fervor's dead. Okay,
No,
so...
I will bring back this fervor.
Yeah, and then he's just like, okay, for the money? Nope, okay, there's no money. And then he's just kind of like sitting there, and he's gonna be... And he's gonna just like knock his... He's gonna just kind of like knock his knuckle against the table and say, so, about those cultists...
That's something we're gonna
What about them? I'm gonna use thaumaturgy. I'm gonna turn my eyes red.
Yeah, when you say that, Chuskin's going to just kind of like stand up and say, I'm sorry, clearly Bokrai had different intentions. Had different intentions.
No, this guy's just being a dick. It's fine. If you want to help out, we can find a way for you to help out. And once we get the reward, we will split some.
Ginhill also says, hey, about mercy and stuff, and wouldn't it show mercy to our, this empress that Zevin speaks so kindly of to save her from this cult that's forming?
Are you asking Chuskin to help you?
Yes.
You cut off twice for me.
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Okay, I will do that. 1 second. Persuasion.
We are
Okay.
just about to end. Woo! Okay, so and you're gonna be like mercy, like, and as you say that, you're kind of like you're gonna strike a chord over like she kind of like freaks out just a little bit of just like you see the shoulders wince up and like her neck go down a little bit. And she's gonna say, yes, of course, mercy for the goddess Sumia that I serve.
Yes, that you're completely devoted to.
I kind of smile and I'm like, see, I knew she would come around.
I'm not buying any of this. I'm just like, this is purely for your own benefit.
And she's going to say, I believe the cultists are held up in some sort of small cave underneath the sands, or within the dunes to the north. I think it'd be wise for us to pack a expedition into the desert and head northwards. Perhaps even northeast to the trails that lead to the Darkened Port.
Well, I think that sounds dandy.
That is probably the most prevalent information we've had.
And she's...
Although,
oh, go ahead.
I am a little curious where she's getting...
I mean, like, if we're curious, like, I'll do another insight on her.
Okay.
Yeah, both of you are welcome to. And
Not guaranteeing anything good. About the same.
Those are both going to happen after her next statement, as she says, "Great, you'll be my escorts through the desert then, and we'll walk the roads together looking for them."
Excuse
and
Together.
Yeah, and well, you just convinced her to work with you, and
Yay.
like as she's saying this, like you're gonna know that information about the cultists in the desert dunes to the north. She really doesn't have anything to really go off of, at least not that she's explained to you guys. It seems shaky at best. Everything about her seems a little bit sketchy at best.
But I mean, do we have any other leads at all?
You guys have literally not talked to anybody else. You haven't asked her any questions other than just like who's, actually, you guys didn't ask her any questions. She gave you information as you were arguing.
No, we asked questions. But... Right, But,
to answer your question, no other leads. At least not so... Well, actually, no. You do have other leads. The Path Captain, her daughter, Savannah, went missing. The Path Captain is a very prominent person in this region. You would know her as she is the person, well, you know what? You can roll me a history check for free on the Path Captain. The information you know about her, she would kind of be like the sheriff deputy. As to what specifically, Mud can roll it with advantage. As to what specifically, you know that she's like the sheriff deputy over. Who even knows? Mud is also going to know the main way that the Darkened Vale moves around a lot of their forces is between underground pathways between these fortresses. The Path Captain, she is the guard. She is in charge of that pathway that leads to Fort Dalewatch underneath the sands. So pretty important as far as like a logistical officer. And same thing with Madara, is, you know, Madara's gonna have some insight as to like the Path Captains aren't exactly seen in the light of day all the time, as there's secret, like, that's one of the things that keeps Heimsdale off of its feet, as there are passages beneath the desert that that the Darkened Vale uses, and their riders can surprise almost any town without being spotted. With that said, it's safe to assume that the Path Captain is probably the person who, you know, guards one of the entranceways to those paths. You have that lead. Go ahead, Shelby.
What's the Umiya cleric's name?
Oh, that's...
Ginil.
Not your character.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
the other lady.
Chuskin.
Mud's gonna be like, we're not gonna find out anything tonight. It's late, and you all need to rest. Plus, I need to check some leads before we head out. 1 second, and he basically tells him to stay for a second, and he's gonna go up to the barkeep, and he's gonna be like, "Hey, barkeep."
He is not in a headlock. Him and his friend are actually having a conversation. He's gonna look over at you.
Oh, he's still doing that?
Mm-hmm. He's not in a headlock. And we are going to end off in 4 minutes.
Mud's gonna ask the barkeep if he can request a few rooms.
Yeah.
And to let him know what the bill will be later.
Okay. Well, yeah, 2 ruby pieces gets you... 2 ruby pieces or 10 gold will get you 2 rooms. He would actually be willing to trade in gold. And those will be upper level rooms on the 4th floor.
Mud's gonna be like, I'm gonna need them on credit, and I'm gonna need 3 nights.
On credit for the Agram Guard. And he is going to say, yes, of course, Master Guard.
And Mud's just like, but I understand this is a business, and he's going to take 5 gold and give him 5 gold to start, and say, that's the start, but we will definitely reimburse.
And he's gonna nod and say, the rooms are yours.
Alright. And he's...
Oh wait, is he paying for like all of us, or?
And then Mud's going to, yes, then Mud's going to turn to Chutney, and he's going to tell her.
Chutney.
Well, I don't know what her name is.
That's fair.
Chuskin.
Chuskin.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to tell Chuskin to, that she is under the protection, and that she needs to stay in her room until he comes and gets her, and leads her and him, her and her friend to a room.
All right. Yes. Leading her to her room. You have 2 rooms. Do you give her?
I asked for 3 rooms. Did
oh yeah, 3. Okay, I gave you the price for 2, but yeah, it's just going to be an additional ruby piece, 1 for each room. So yeah, he'll give you a 3rd room. And there are only 4 rooms on the upper floor, so you guys have 3/4 of it. Yeah, and it would be empty.
Yeah, I would probably also have my own room because I've been working.
Okay. Yeah, and he'll give you. You have the 4th room on the upper floor. You guys get the 4 worst rooms for free.
Yeah. Popular demand.
Yeah. So as you escort her up, and this is where we'll end off for the night. You take her to the upper floor of this tower. You know, give her her own private room. She's going to be looking around it, and Bokrai is going to say, I can't stay here. I've got a place over on the east side that I have to attend to. He's gonna work forges now, and he's gonna say, I work the forge over there, but I'm just glad you're safe, Chuskin. And she's gonna say, yes, thank you very much, shooing him out of the room along with Mud. As she does, you're going to see, like, as she's inspecting this room, she's going to take a book out of her tunic that she's been kind of like holding between her arms, placing it on her bed, and just kind of gesturing both of you out of the room and closing the door behind her.
So, I would have actually suggested that we have somebody like Madara or... Sorry, forget the other...
I mean, like, if he's offering to pay for a room, I'll take it, but I was planning on actually, like, roughing it out in the sands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I was gonna suggest that we have either Madara or Genhill room, just in case something happens. She probably wouldn't want a man rooming with her, but...
I got that covered. Mud's gonna walk down. He's gonna go out. You're gonna hear him whistle 3 times.
Alright, your doggos are gonna come running.
He's going to whistle to Coyote. And Coyote is going to come, and he's going to take her upstairs and say, watch, no one but the barkeep is allowed in. And then I take him down to the barkeep to inspect the barkeep and sniff him.
Were there windows in the room?
So, how many handling checks do I need to make for that?
You're fine on that. Your dogs are going to make checks. So for on those windows, there are, but you are on the 4th level of this inn. It would be pretty horrifying for her to try and escape through them.
Well, we don't know how good these cultists are.
I mean, if, like, they want, Genhill is more than happy to have a sleepover with her new friend.
Alright.
Yeah.
Let's end here for the night then, with you guys convincing Genhill to go into the room. Genhill opens the door to step in, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna be... as you open the door, she is reading from a tome that is casting like dim light over her face as the runes on it are lighting up and glowing in a cool blue light. And as she does, she slams it closed, just like in surprise of you like entering the room. And we will pick up there next session. Yeah, so welcome to the desert. Welcome to the Darkened Vale. And this is, yeah. we'll pick up here. So let's do a storyline experience for tonight, and then your guys' next session, we'll schedule that, is on the 9th of next week, and every Friday. And experience for tonight's session, I think a flat 250, just for an introduction to the story and what's going on in the world. All right. I will be messaging all of you this week more about your characters and contacts and stuff in this area. But yes, let's cult hunt for the good of the Darkened Veil and, you know, the Undying Empress.
Yeah.
I
think your character is amazing, by the way. Props to you on that.
I think what I'm going to do is across the bottom of this screen right here that we're on, I'm just going to put in white text Elizabeth's full title. So it's always right here, so I don't have to keep referencing it, and Nick doesn't have to keep referencing it. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'll probably bookmark.
I hate every time I address her in like an official capacity, and I'm just like, I gotta go pull up all of her titles.
I'm gonna get it down. I'm gonna have it memorized. It'll be great. I'm gonna aim like I'm gonna have a quota each session for how many times.
You mean the Sight of the Third Eye, Guardian of Agram's Gambit, Delarifier of the New World, the Redeemed, the Undying Empress herself, Elizabeth?
Brandon's sigh was pretty quiet tonight. I just couldn't stop coughing.
Yeah, I know. You told me earlier. I hope you feel better, man. And I'm going to